Glorious Sakuga, mouth-watering combat, blazing hearts, and blood-red swords seared through Taisho-era Japan. Pop your popcorn and grab your friends, because you know each episode is gonna have enough brutal carnage to make a slaughterhouse look ethical. But that's not really what it's all about. Despite the spectacular violence, we enter the world of Demon Slayer through the eyes of a main character whose very soul represents the exact opposite of violence, utter peace. And that simple contrast is far more important than you might think, because this is a story of fighting supernatural monsters, and yet the essence of Tanjiro Kamado tells the story of a different fight, not of the demons around you, but those lurking within you, bringing light to the fangs of anger, hate, and violence that consume you, and letting them crumble to dust. Amongst the company of superhumans, what does it mean to be truly human? What does it mean to be truly selfless? The answer to that is the bright sunlight shining within the most important yet most mysterious family in Demon Slayer. So let's get into it. This is the history of the Kamado family, disciples of the sun. Alright, strap in, it's time for some history. Which, yes, I know can be a snooze, but hey, this is a series that made literal breathing its most interesting mechanic. So how bad can it be? First things first, the importance of the Kamado family starts with a different family. Well, a very specific person from that specific family, Yoriichii Tsugikuni. Particularly when a young Yoriichii at the prime of his demon slaying career, having beaten Muzan himself, killed a random demon, thus saving the life of one Sumiyoshi Kamado, a humble family man with a striking resemblance to Tanjiro. Through this chance meeting, the two become very close, eventually becoming best friends. The most powerful man in the world and a kind-hearted charcoal burner. Fun fact, Sumiyoshi's name literally means charcoal, with the kanji for Sumi meaning coal and Yoshi meaning fortune. Fortune and coal. It's like this man was born for this job. However, Sumiyoshi would soon fall into a different kind of fortune, when his wife Suyako and their youngest daughter Sumire asked to see Yoriichi's sun-breathing technique because, ooh, pretty lights. Kinda sounds like the entire Demon Slayer fandom in a nutshell. And so Yoriichii, being ever the gentleman, obliges. Remember this moment. This is the first time that a breathing technique hasn't been used for bloodshed. Instead, it was used to bring joy. That's important. Now, good old Sumiyoshi sees this too, and here's where we learn a little something about Sumiyoshi. He has an incredible memory, practically photographic, and from that singular sword movement, he captured everything there is to know about the ancient art of sun breathing. Yoriichii notices this too, and something shifts in him. One day, he hands over his own Hanafuda earrings to Sumiyoshi in exchange for a promise that the Kamado family preserve the art of sun breathing through their bloodline. And as Yoriichii leaves, Sumiyoshi is overwhelmed with the certainty that this is the last time he will ever see his dear friend again. So he fulfills Yoriichi's final wish. With this meticulous memory, Sumiyoshi teaches the technique to his children, who teach it to their children, and so on, in honor of their debt to Yoriichii. But the technique is not taught as a sword art. Oh no. It's passed down generations instead as Hinokami Kagura, or the dance of the sun god. Again, we see the monstrously powerful technique of breathing arts used not in combat, but in movement and tradition. As the nexus of all breathing abilities, the art of Hinokami Kagura still bestows its user with incredible power, but instead of destruction, it is used for vitality. Imagine Einstein making E equals mc squared, but it was actually used for energy instead of making atom bombs. In any case, those who learn the dance of Hinokami Kagura are blessed with incredible strength, stamina, and a long life. This is because the technique, almost by default, unlocks all the hidden abilities of Demon Slayers. This means access to the rare Demon Slayer mark, the even rarer transparent world, and the even rarer almost one-of-a-kind, the selfless state, which we'll get back to later. Most of these techniques are unlocked by only the most talented Demon Slayers through excruciating training or pushing their bodies to literally the brink of death. But for practitioners of Hinokami Kagura, these abilities come as easily as, well, breathing. This became most apparent through its use by Tanjiro Kamado, a humble charcoal burner with a striking resemblance to Tanjiro. Looks like it's a Kamado family specialty. Good old daddy Tanjiro was a frail man plagued with a chronic illness that he eventually succumbed to prematurely. Yet this never bothered Tanjiro. Somehow in that frailness lay immense strength, enough to fight off a 20-foot tall bear, perform his laborious duties as the breadwinner, and of course, perform the Hinokami Kagura dance for his children in the middle of frigid winter. Oh, by the way, Tanjiro's the proud father father of 6 children. Frailty didn't stop this man from engaging in strenuous activities by any means. Let's run through the family. First off, Kie Kamado, Tanjiro's wife, protective, independent, strong-headed. No, like literally. She has an unnaturally hard forehead, able to knock out even a large wild boar. She's incredibly caring towards her loved ones, a trait that passes to her children and spurs them in their darkest hour. She is also, besides Tanjiro, the only other person on Earth who knows the location of the blue spider lilies. You know, the cure for sunlight, the thing that Muzan's been looking for his entire immortal life. Just a quick flex. Now for the children. There's Rokuta Kamado, the youngest sibling. His name means excellence. He's just a little guy, quiet and shy. The twins, Hanako and Shigeru Kamado. They're both energetic and lovable. Hanako means flower and Shigeru means growth. Takeo Kamado, the second oldest Kamado brother, with, you guessed it, a striking resemblance to Tanjiro. A slight penchant for solemnity and ready to help his family in any way he can. And of course, the 2 oldest siblings that need no introduction, Nezuko and Tanjiro Kamado. The main characters, they inherit the strength of Hinokami, the will, kindness, and love of their Kamado descendants, and move forth with their story. The existence of sun-breathing techniques and Hinokami Kagura in the Kamado family are where Tanjiro and Nezuko's main strengths come from. It's what helps Tanjiro convert his water-breathing to sun-breathing and eventually gain the other Demon Slayer abilities. But it arguably had even more of a pronounced effect on Nezuko, as it's likely what helped her cells conquer the sun and resist Muzan's will, but also likely influenced her blood demon art. Burning blood is a bright flame that burns demons upon touching them, turning their skins to ash. Kinda like sunlight? Later on, the ability even takes on a similar appearance to sun-breathing techniques as well. So, even in their actions, the hearts and soul of the Kamado clan lie within them. Great, now you're all caught up. But now, this all begs the question, why? Why would Yoriichii trust this family with the most ridiculous power gifted to humanity, and why would he trust them to carry it on? Is it just homies being homies? Well, yes, but that's not the full picture. Understand the state that Yoriichii was in when he met Sumiyoshi. He had just failed to kill Muzan. His own brother became a demon directly to spite him. Everything Yoriichii had lived for, his life's purpose, had crumbled around him. And despite everything he accomplished, he had lost. He realized that he needed to go about this a different way, with a different motive. He needed the power of the Hinokami to be in the hands of a better human, a kinder human than him, more pure than him. Because that's the thing about breathing techniques. They were never meant to be used for war. They were meant for improvement, for making oneself better, stronger, strong enough to free them of all the anger, hatred, or violence that would tie them to war, and instead be at peace, be selfless. This is where the selfless state becomes important. It is the absolute pinnacle of Demon Slayer breathing techniques. And what does it do? It erases bloodlust. It removes your killing intent from yourself, brings you to center yourself, free from all negative desires, like a tree, as Akaza pointed out. And that level of inner peace has only ever been achieved by users of sun breathing, the original source of breathing techniques. Erasing killing intent does not sound like something a combat technique would encourage unless it wasn't meant for combat in the first place. That's why when Yoriichii collided with the pristine pure soul of Sumiyoshi Kamado, he knew it needed a change. In an almost faded way, it took a family of non-slayers to maximize the true use of the Hinokami techniques, not as a birthright, but inherited through friendship, not through the art of war as the Tsugikunis used it, but as an art of life. Yoriichii, as even the most powerful slayer in the world, learned from the Kamado family, and they in turn learned from him. But both of them in turn learned from the sun itself, hence disciples of the sun, lighting the path towards being better people. Sometimes, as the gold standard for animation, it feels like Demon Slayer's story sometimes takes a bit of a backseat. But it's through analysis like this that you uncover the underlying heart of all the characters, their drive, and the message they tell in their battle, especially Tanjiro, because in a way, it is him and only him that would have any chance of beating Muzan, specifically because he isn't a fighter. Muzan is the other side of the coin of a perfect being, literally able to become whatever he wants with full cellular control of his body. But it all exists to aid him, benefit him, and in the face of such selfishness, it's fitting that the man to take him down would be from a family so selfless.